Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Caveman to Cosmos with me, Alpha Pi Omega and Byzantium. So the turn is 2729, year 7181 BC, and we are one turn away from sailing. Now I promised you in the past episode that I will explain why I want sailing, and I will do so once we cross that threshold and I can show you. But before we go there, I wanted to do a little review of our empire, because as you can see, we are now at an amazing surplus of plus 70 and maximum research with no meager wealth anywhere. Furthermore, we are building a gold mine in Patra, we are building a mining camp in Adrianople, tattooer in Vodena, mining camp in Thessaloniki, jade mine in Constantinople, mining camp in Nicomedia, and mining camp in Antioch. All of these buildings are further going to solidify the fact that we are now good on money. Which means that we can think of the next city. And we will in this episode. So, the next city, I pretty much overrule, I'm not going to let you guys vote this time, is going to be built right here. This is the tile that will give us access to lead, to rubber, to, this is resin, to olives, and it will give us the access to the iron ore and the prime timber that we have here. It is also going to be a strong border city focused on defense, because we need to stop them just passing through our territory northwards. We had another attack recently, and it just forced me to make the decision that the next city is going to be right here. So once we have the possibility, I'm probably going to build the unit in Constantinople, maybe somewhere else, but we are founding our 11th city right here. Speaking of cities and founding new cities, we are doing good as far as population goes. We now have 11,750 people living in our chiefdom. Population 12 in Constantinople translates to 5,000 people there. Nicomedia population 2, Antioch population 4. Thessaloniki will be population 6 very soon. Adrianople already is 6. Patra increased to 8. So yeah, we are doing great as far as people go. We are doing great as far as money go as well. And we are slowly gaining access to more resources. We are currently working on building an iron mine up here in Trebizond. We have upgraded quite a lot of our camps to quarries. You can see there is a quarry here. Mine. No, there is actually a mine here. Okay. I don't know how the game... It always seems to have an extra building in its back somewhere. Like here, instead of a quarry, we have a salt gatherer, which is giving us access to salt. We have built a number of mines over here. We have a mine for gold. We have a mine... No, early quarry here for stone. We have a mine here for amber. So, you know, doing the work, making things happen. I guess that's all for the introduction. Now let's go and see the sailing, because that is the next big step for our population.
You can't direct the wind, but you can adjust your sails.
Sailing is a very useful technology. It gives us access to a number of buildings that will immediately translate to extra income. White House gives us extra food, macro nets, marvin nets, camp for narwhals, parrotfish nets, and sail weavers give us all gold, and most of them even food. We got the shipwright, which allows us to build the next ship level units, ship type units. We get swordfish nets, some unit rewards, some world wonders called Naval Mascot and Sea Hunting, and we get a number of cultures. We also get some new improvements, amphibious and caravan sea movement. Amphibious is actually amazing because it eliminates the penalty for crossing rivers and attacking from sea. So that is useful for most units, you know, not just, you know, the attack from the sea, but crossing river gives you a 50% penalty. And it's actually kind of a big deal. Kelp harvest, which is good. That's a new improvement for a tile, giving extra food and gold. We have beacons here and sails. But the reason why I really wanted sailing is the galley. Now this is going to take a bit of an explanation, but you guys remember that we have the war canoes, right? Okay, let me just shadow a building here for Antioch, and we are going to continue. What's your education? 122, you're good. Any industrial? Yeah, you can go with carpenter, then get the emu, and then the tattooer and a barter post. Okay. Siege would be pretty good as well. Okay, so you guys remember that we have the war canoes. The war canoes are the first military ship that you get. They upgrade to war galleys. War galleys upgrade to triremes. Triremes upgrade to quinteremes. Quinteremes upgrade to deciries. Deciries upgrade to galleasses, and so on and so on and so on. So you pretty much have a straight beeline through the military units. Now, the matter of the fact is that for most units you get a separate split, while in ships there are basically only two ways how you can go. You can only go with transports or warships. Now we have been constantly harassed by enemies coming into our territory. We have the advantage of seeing this tile, so I get an early warning when they pass through. But we need to start building our naval because our navy. That was kind of brain freeze there. We need to start building our navy because it will not, get obsolete at any point. We can just upgrade these ships. Now I have a feeling, and I wanted to confirm that right now, that sailing actually, sailing gives us a galley, which is a transport ship, right? So that would be an upgrade to canoes? No. To kayaks, right? Trigger? Nope. No. Because it seems like when I read the description right now, the galley is not the same thing as the war galley. So galley is probably going to come from fishing. There's the workboats, Tomo, boat building. Because we are using the canoes. Okay, so it's an upgrade to the canoe. And that means this one, yes, this one can transport units. Okay, that doesn't matter. We can build some more canoes, and once we get the wheel, we are going to continue and upgrade our war canoes to the war galleys. Now again, this might seem a bit superfluous, but the fact that the barbarians can just sail around the coast and throw units that they carry onto anywhere in our territory is a big detriment to our situation, meaning that we still need to be wary of our cities in the inland, because they can get attacked at any point. Now I've built Ankara canoes, and we have the Adrianople canoes, and they are, they're basically an emergency button that I can use and sail any ship that comes. But again, the game has a nasty habit of throwing increasingly difficult obstacles at you, so we need to be prepared to hold the sea and have it as our own at all moments. So I want to keep that going. I want to keep the upper hand because we have it right now, and we need to have it as long as we go, because it is going to be important for us to control the coast. Okay, so what's coming next? Well, the wheel will be here in 33 turns. We might or might not have the city here once we return with an update, but in the meantime I'm going to address further issues with our cities. You can see, for example, Patra education has been solved. Same with Vodena. But I think, yes, we have some problems in cities like Thessaloniki, in cities like Adrianople. Well, that one is building a camp, and I think it has... you have completely ignored educational buildings, so let's go with those next. And I'm gonna focus on doing stuff like that, upgrading the tiles, making sure that we are prosperous, and keeping us generally leaping forward. I'm also going to start spending money on upgrading some of our units and maybe disbanding some others, because for example these guys, I don't think they're worth it. They got combat 2, they got might 1, but they got the poison tips and the bamboo. But wouldn't we get a better archer if we train them? Well, no, we wouldn't. Okay, so I could upgrade them. But for example, these guys, they need to get upgraded because they got leadership, they got combat 4, they got shock, they got city garrison and might. So let's go ahead and upgrade them right now. Spend some of that gold that we are not using and have a much better defensive unit that we can, you know, maybe use for defense of the new city. Maybe for something else. Yeah, and you guys are definitely just gonna be disbanded. I don't know, could we unite you into a battalion? Because there's no point in you being there anymore, so I'm just gonna investigate that and see what we can do. Yeah, there is a certain amount of upgrades and army revamp that we have to do, so I'm going to do that next. So, see you in 43 turns when we get the wheel. Probably a bit sooner, because as we increase our gold income, we are also increasing our research output. Turn 2762, year 6975 BC, and we are 1 turn away from the wheel. Now I was curious when the wheel was actually invented, and there is, of course, no mention of who invented it and where. That cannot be such a thing because, I mean, it's a wheel. But on the other hand, the attribution goes to the civilization in Mesopotamia, which should start using the wheel somewhere between 10,000 and 7,000 BCE. So we are slightly behind the shadow, but still, this would be like the major introduction of the wheel, so I'll take it. I will take it. As far as our empire goes, we are doing pretty good. Both Patra and Vadena are now at population 8, meaning we have 2,000 people living there. We've, kind of dealt with the disease, crime, and education across our empire, which took down, well, it took a lot of our income to facilitate that. But we now have archers in almost all of our border cities. Here we have an additional unit. We have an additional unit of archers in Thessaloniki. So even the inner cities are now better defended. We still do not have anyone in Adrianople, but I'm gonna look into that after we finish the straw gather in Constantinople. Before I forget, let's just shadow that right now so that we have it. I actually disbanded a couple of the older units. We no longer have the slingers. The only ones that were worth were 2 units which were already promoted. I also disbanded a number of units that were stationed in Nicomedia, and because their experience was much lower than the freshly trained units that we can get from Constantinople. What I found out was that when you disband a unit, you get a hefty sum of money, which is pretty good. I won't complain about that, so we can continue with that. Basically meaning that each of these units, like the stonemason here and the stonemason here, are just useless, because right now we are training. If you check, these guys have 6 experience points, these guys got 10, and these guys got 6. If we train fresh ones, we get 19 experience points. So these guys are disbandable as far as I'm concerned. As far as the project for the new city goes, you're gonna see that in this episode, because we got the settler here, it's moving to the city. We got archers and druidic missionary prepared here already to get the city going. We are upgrading this tile with a fruit picking camp, which will be probably the first source that the city is going to use, though there is a possibility to use the iron ore mine here. So I think that I'm actually going to facilitate using this tile first, because that's gonna hugely increase our industrial production right off the bat. In Trebizond we are doing the same thing pretty much. We're just demolishing the industry using this tile. We got 50 here with population 1, that's insane. But we're working on a number of buildings that are going to boost our city's performance much more than, you know, if it used, for example, this food tower, which is getting 4 food, but much less industrial production. So that's the logic behind the madness. Anything else that I would like to mention at this point? Well, I haven't really used any of the ships that I was speaking about. We're really going to go after the naval warfare next. I apologize for being a bit confusing about that. I really thought before we get the technology that the galley was the one that we want, and it's actually the war galley. So yeah, with the war galley you can see that it just upgrades like this. Straight path. Actually, there was a split there. Sloop, frigate, iron frigate. Yeah, it just goes on and on. So any experience that we get for our initial ships are going to be good as such. One thing I actually wanted to mention as well, as far as the ships go, at certain point we're going to get the outrigger. That is basically a spy unit that you can get. It can explore rival territory, though it is fairly weak. It has only a strength of 2. It can defeat the barbarians. You know, there's no doubt about that, but it can only defeat the barbarian rafts. If they actually come with something else at us, we're going to be done. It's kind of interesting that this one upgrades to the Caveman. That's a huge jump, but yeah, we'll see. There's still a lot of things that we can build here, meaning that we have other focuses, but I just realized one thing. I wanted to check what the lighthouse requires, because I haven't been able to build that one anywhere. And the lighthouse is actually very useful. It requires coast, requires masonry. We got sailing, marbles. Wait, what? Man, we should be able to build these. Requires coast. So why can, for example, Adrianople not get that one? Or am I blind? Is it here somewhere? I don't see it. It's not even in the unavailable buildings to show us what we... It's not here. There's the shipwright. Log bridge. I can't find it. I think we're missing... Did we get the masonry? I think we might not... It was green though. Did we get... No, we probably didn't get the masonry, right? Masonry. Yeah, we definitely didn't get the masonry. That's somewhere... Mesopotamia, heritage. Ah, here it is. Okay, so that is... I don't know why it was green though. I guess it just shows green by default. I thought that it would show you. Okay, so masonry is the next thing that we need for the White House. Okay, mystery solved. As our border will grow, White Houses are actually going to be amazing. Just imagine like here, all of these would give us 1 extra food. So right off the bat it would be 4 extra food. And I think that it gets additional bonuses as you go ahead. So yeah, sea is an insane source of food. That's why ports just explode as you go through the ages.
Push your shoulder to the wheel.
So we can now make path. Amazing. Paths are the first tile. Someone asked me about this in the comments. Unsure how that works. Yes, it is exactly as you mentioned. With movement cost of 0.8, you can always move to tiles, no matter how difficult it is to get to the second tile. If the second tile is a hills with forest or jungle on it, you can still move to the second tile. So that's why the paths are such a huge advantage, because it immediately doubles your movement speed for all units. Amazing. It's also going to give us the wheelwright, which I think is a pretty good building. It replaces Traveler Maker though, so I'm not sure what the actual effect is. It gives us a couple of extra benefits here. That is fine. And next comes Naval Warfare. So let us just enjoy this and make sure that we can settle on the next city together. I'll put you guys there already so you defend the... Wait, okay, this is the spot, not here, this one. So workers, you finished that, cool. So what I'm gonna do here now is I'm gonna start building the paths because they cost gold. That's the point. Paths cost gold, and I'm not sure if they don't have a maintenance cost. They probably won't, but yeah, it costs gold. So we have to be a little economic with that. Now you can see that we got the trails pretty much everywhere. I don't mind about that, but there is going to be a route from Vodena to Patra. Actually, no, we're gonna start Nicaea to Constantinople to Nicomedia. Then we're gonna have one going from Nicaea via Adrianople to Patra. Then the second one to Vodena, and then from Patra to Vodena. Then we are going to connect the coast, and we're just gonna we'll basically have one path from each city to each city, while the trails are going to be built everywhere else. That makes a whole lot of sense. So, speaking of which, we can actually start building the trail from here to Nicaea and to Constantinople. That sounds reasonable. Way more reasonable than I was expecting. So, let's do that. Let us do that. 66. I wonder how big of a hit we're gonna get with this next city. We should be definitely completely fine. Even if it was a minus 100, which it won't be, we are still going to be okay for 37 turns. And as I mentioned, our income is only going to increase with every single day. Okay, so let's give you some beneficial buildings. Ship wheelwright. Okay, so that gives 1 and 1. Okay, so the Travel Maker was doing us a solid with that. Okay, let's do a little overview here. How's your education? Good. We don't need to hurry with that. Disease is dropping. Healer's Hut might be, though, a very good thing for you to keep it under control as you grow. And outhouse are gonna get next. Nature altar, nope. Let's go with the gem cutter next. And carpenter. Huh. Okay, let's start with the carpenter, then healer's hut, lacquerware maker, and gem cutter. So that's just 6 extra gold from these buildings. So you guys, does this one? Roads. Okay, let's do it this way. So they should build the road here, then we're gonna put it here. That's gonna connect to Nicaea, then here, and straight to Constantinople, our first road project. Why you guys are here, I don't know. Maybe I clicked addon by mistake. Okay, so you guys can move here. Wait, that was a mistake. You guys need to be protected. I nearly left this settler. I thought that they were already connected there. 75 gold now. Nice. A big jump. I'm not sure when we finished, but it's going up and down all the time. 440 free research at this point. Isn't that just amazing? So you guys move here. We cannot find the city here, right? Nope. Nope, we have to wait. So did you build the path? You haven't, okay. I guess I'll just work with the manual here. Okay, then you move here. And here we go with the new city. You guys will wait. You guys will wait. You guys just move through the forest. And here comes the turn when we get the next city. Come on, come on, come on. I'm always so excited for founding a new city. It is like a big project, you know, the 50 people there. Actually, that's one thing that I wanted to mention. We finished the world wonder called... Where is it? It's buildings. Here. The Great Bath of Mohenjo-Daro. And that one should start our new cities with +1 population, so we should start at 2. We'll also start with the tumulus there, or monument, and the granary. So that's going to be beneficial to us. So you guys get my usual. And where were you supposed to go? To Adrianople? Yeah, okay. Adrianople doesn't have anyone And here we go. Here we go. So that's the tile that we wanted, right? Yeah, prime timber, iron ore, rubber. If we move it slightly down. No, that would... Yeah, that would put the olives out of your reach. There are some rubies here. Yeah, that's a good spot for another city. So let's found the city. It's gonna be called Iconium. Yes, we got population of 2, and we even got the leftover food from having the granary here. Yep, we got the monument, we got the tablet maker as well. Chief's hut, awesome. Wow, and bonfire. Well, we're starting really strong here. And you are actually, yeah, you're growing. Okay, you got 30. Oh, that is nice. 30 industry and free growth from the 2 tiles. I forgot that you get both of them. So here we're gonna go with the usual things that we do. Damn, look at that. With 30, we are just going like crazy here. Okay, cool. Let's just give you all of these, because that's going to be important for you. Grow fluorescent and torches. Okay, so I envision like 20 more production here before we need to revisit you again. We are going to spread the religion there, giving us extra happiness, extra production for buildings, extra culture. Good. You are going to go back to your workers, and you guys are going to start defending the city. So Iconium is another city that's going to make us really happy. Okay, and that pretty much took away all of our bonus income, but that is fine. As far as we exchange it for a new city, I'm fine, because it's gonna give us extra growth. It's gonna give us a huge protection here, which actually reminds me, we have to find a good moment when we are going to give you the earth wall. It would take 17 turns right now, so I'll keep monitoring that. And as this is a mostly defensive cities, the buildings are going to be pretty important here. Now, considering we have the lead ore here, this is going to be an industrial hub eventually. Cool. So thank you very much for joining me. This is the outlook of our empire. We are on our way to naval warfare, and I'll see you in 32 turns in the next episode when we are going to benefit from that. Hell yeah!